We call him the villain, cold, ruthless, the man who burned a world that wasn't his. But Miles Quaritch didn't start as a monster. He started as a soldier who followed orders. And if you look closely, his story isn't about evil. It's about loyalty pushed too far. To understand him, we have to go back. Before the war. Before Pandora. Before the blue skin and second life. Back when he was just a human, a man shaped by conflict, not born into it. Quaritch lived in a world where strength meant survival, where hesitation got people killed, where morality wasn't philosophy, it was strategy. He didn't train to be kind, he trained to win. And he got very, very good at it. When he arrives on Pandora in Avatar, he's not confused about his role. He's there to secure resources, protect his people, complete the mission. Simple. That's the thing about soldiers like Quaritch. They don't ask if the war is right. They ask how to survive it, and the system rewards that mindset. The RDA Corporation doesn't want philosophers. They want results. Quaritch delivers. Every time. He studies the Na'vi, learns their tactics, adapts, not because he hates them, but because that's what winning requires. But here's where it shifts. Pandora isn't just another battlefield, it's alive. The forests breathe, the animals fight back. The people belong there. And for the first time, Quaritch isn't just fighting enemies. He's fighting something he doesn't understand. Now look at the moment everything breaks. The destruction of Home Tree. That wasn't chaos. That was calculated. He gave warnings, set deadlines, followed protocol. And when nothing worked, he pulled the trigger. It's easy to call that evil. But look closer. That's a man who believes the mission matters more than anything else. More than lives. More than truth. Even more than himself. Because that's what he was trained to believe. Quaritch doesn't see himself as the villain. He sees himself as necessary. And that's what makes him dangerous. Not rage, not cruelty. Certainty. Then comes Jake Sully. A soldier just like him. Same training, same instincts. But Jake does something Quaritch never could. He questions. That's the difference. Not strength, not skill, choice. Quaritch had spent his entire life becoming the perfect weapon. Efficient, unshakable. Loyal, but nobody ever taught him how to stop. And when the world changed, he couldn't. In Avatar, the Way of Water, we see him again. But not really. A copy. A recom. Same memories. Same instincts. But something is off. Because now, for the first time, Quaritch is forced to see himself from the outside. Not as a human defending Earth, but as something else. Something closer to the enemy he once fought. And still, he keeps going. Same mission. Same drive. Because when your entire identity is built on purpose, you don't know how to exist without it. That's the tragedy. Quaritch didn't fail. He succeeded too well. He became exactly what the system needed and nothing more. We like to believe villains choose evil, but sometimes they just never learned how to choose anything else. Quaritch never had a scroll moment. No realization. No pause. No moment where he looks at himself and says, "This isn't who I want to be." Because that question was never part of his training. And that's the lesson most people miss. When you've spent your whole life being the weapon, you don't know how to live without a war. Silence feels like failure. Peace feels like irrelevance. So even when the battle is clearly lost, you keep going. Not to win, but to avoid facing what happens if you stop. That's why Quaritch never backs down. Not when the Na'vi rise. Not when the tides turn. Not even when he's outmatched, because stopping would mean confronting a truth he's avoided his entire life. What if the mission was never worth it? And that question is heavier than any battlefield. Look at his final moments. There's no speech, no regret, No apology, just resistance. To the very end. And people call that strength. But sometimes, it's fear. Fear of becoming nothing without the identity you built. Fear of realizing that all your sacrifices weren't leading anywhere, just deeper into the same cycle. Quaritch couldn't let go, because letting go would mean admitting he was never in control to begin with. And that's what makes his story so real. Because this isn't just about war. It's about anyone who built their life on something external, a job, a title, a role they were told to play, and held on to it, even when it started destroying them. The hardest thing in life isn't fighting, it's stopping. It's stepping back and asking, if I'm not this, then who am I? Quaritch never answered that question. He never even asked it, and that's why he lost. Not because he was weaker, but because he was trapped. Inside a version of himself he didn't know how to escape. Quaritch isn't just a villain. He's what happens when identity is built entirely on duty, when loyalty replaces thought, when orders replace values. We've all seen this in real life. People who followed the path perfectly, did everything right, played their role, and one day realized they don't know who they are without it. Quaritch never got that chance. He never stepped outside the mission long enough to ask why. And maybe that's the real difference between him and Jake. Not morality, awareness. Because once you see the system, you can choose. Quaritch never saw it. Or maybe he did. And by then it was too late. We call him the villain, but his story teaches something deeper. Not about evil, but about what happens when you become so good at being what the world wants. You forget to become yourself. And that might be the most dangerous kind of wasted life. Not lack of potential, but a life fully used for the wrong purpose. And with that, we come to the end of the video. If you found this story thought-provoking, give this video a like. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any updates. Remember, sometimes the most powerful battles aren't fought on the battlefield, but inside ourselves.